Hello, everybody, and we are back with another Pickled Dragon Unscripted. I'm Matt Pickled Dragon.
And I
Along,
am Dracoya.
she's going to introduce herself. Jacoya of Yar, Shiver Me Timbers, Dracoya.
Yeah, because I'm cold. I'm so cold, in fact, that I had to put on our brand new hoodie or sweatshirt that we have in our store, the Choose Your Weapon hoodie, where you have a variety of weapons to choose from. If you are
Yes,
interested in this, go to our store, support our channel, and help poor Matt, replenish his stock of whiskey.
yes, because we're running dangerously low, other than the full bottles over there.
All
So,
right.
yeah, so this is actually what, about 10 days old or so. What we're about to talk about. I was sick, so got behind, didn't get it done
You
in
got
time.
better.
Much better now. Yes, thank you. And what it is an article from Screenrant. Uh Once again attacking the drow and their problematic origins because we can't have anything nice, can we?
No, we can't.
Uh, so whether you're looking, I mean, today's drow obviously were are purple, so I'm not sure like what do you see there that screams real world people, you
Yeah,
know?
they don't look like people that I know, but you know.
Well, in any case, it's this article is pretty off the charts stupid. Uh, Yeah, I mean, so they're talking about, hey, we want to see a Driz uh series,
A
an
screen
animated.
adaptation.
Yes. And but controversy, dun dun dun, stands in the way.
Oh
Yes. So, yeah, what, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't, because one of the things that they point out is that the Critical Role cartoon, is doing pretty well. So this one, a Drow Drizzt campaign should be able to do just as well. And if you ask me, if it was done true to the novels, yes, it would rock. But we can't have nice things in this day and age.
absolutely not. Cancel culture, you're welcome.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Critical Role, they crowdfund their first season?
You know, I don't know that, but that does sound right.
I think so. Tell us in the
Yeah, somebody
comments.
below is definitely gonna be
Yeah.
like, of course they did.
And I'm mentioning that because they're saying, hey, with how well the Critical Role's doing, we should be able to do this. And they talk about, in a minute, we'll talk about the D&D movie. And but I think the D&D movie is the reason why this isn't going to happen regardless. Because they Hasbro was so disappointed with the results of the movie.
Well, yeah, I think that they had high expectations and they were, I don't know, going about it incorrectly. I think that they were trying to market to a very niche audience and make it into something different than it really needed to be. I mean, I saw the D&D movie. It
It
was
was
okay.
decent. It was the best of all the D&D movies, except for the Book of Vile Darkness.
Well,
Have
yeah, but that's actually to me, that's what made it like bad. Darkness Rising is gold, man.
yes. So Dungeons and Dragons has to address its drow controversy once and for all. So it would entail confronting the nature of drow and the color of their skin, which has been divisive in Dungeons and Dragons since 2020. Now, here's the part that drives me crazy: is they
Oh,
acknowledge
talent.
based on Norse folklore, Drow invented by D&D co-creator Gary Gygax and first introduced in the Monster Manual, which they only had like a little blurb. Like if you go under Elf in the Monster Manual, there'll be a blurb at the end of Elf that says, "Oh well, there are these terrible, terrible elves that live underground," and but they don't actually show
I
up till
love that voice. I'm not really sure
yes,
what that voice is,
that
but
was my
I'd
elf
love more of
voice.
that.
That was my elf voice here telling their lore. We're
That
terrible.
was your elf voice. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Um,
We
Now,
should do a
where it says
documentary with
here
that
they're an
voice.
evil black-skinned race. So that's almost true. When we say black skin, we there are real world connotations uh for saying that phrase, which I'm sure that the writer of this article is digging their
Trying to,
their claws into, right? But
yeah.
the truth is that they're described as pitch black, like the blackest black, which is why if you look at this lady behind me, you can see her arms and she's doing her daily sacrifices to Lolth there. They paint her as pitch black because she was, right? Um,
Well, she was supposed to blend in with pure darkness, right?
Yeah, something to that effect. And of course, their lovely flowing white locks, are just indicative of many races of this. Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong.
I think the white hair is so cool. When I started painting, I really enjoyed painting drow. I enjoyed painting spiders, and yeah, the white hair is so cool. But anyway.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is that they point out that D&D posted this to social media, but took it down again.
Hmm.
So throughout the history of D&D, Drow have been characterized as monstrous and evil, using descriptions that are painfully reminiscent of how real-world ethnic groups have been and continue to be denigrated. That's not right. Despite our conscious efforts to the contrary, we have allowed some of those old descriptions to reappear in the game. If we make mistakes, our priority is make things right. We present Drow in a new light in two of our most recent books. In those books, Drow are just as morally and culturally complex as other peoples. We will continue that approach in future books.
Yes,
I
we
put
can't
to
have
you,
bad guys anymore.
I put to you since the days of TSR, that is also true. The reason being is because if you look at the history of Lolth, like Lolth drew, she is the one that orchestrated that culture. And if they were all evil and there weren't shades of gray, you would have never had a Drizzt. You would have never had a goddess Elestri trying to save the Drow people.
Hmm.
You would never have uh those facets. They would just be evil through and through. So in other words, it is not that they are born evil. It's their culture that makes them evil. You're welcome, everybody.
And by canceling them, you're canceling their culture. You're literally doing cancel culture.
Yes. You're giving up on any hope of them ever redeeming themselves. How about this guy? Does he look like anybody that exists in the real world?
No one that I've met, I just don't know where exactly they would go. Like if this is bad, if the way that they're looking so dark is bad, then what's good? Are you saying that we should repaint them to be white and then they'll be better? Or, like where's the line stop here? I feel like they're making an issue out of it when maybe that's just the way they look.
this person who's writing this article is going for the low-hanging fruit and and creating an article. And I don't know, maybe you guys could tell us like how this came from Screen Rant. I don't know if how they align politically or whatever, but this definitely seems to be addressing a very specific audience. But when it keeps talking, she keeps repeating, the author of this article keeps repeating, problematic history, dark history of D&D.
It almost
Uh,
sounds like WotC paid her off to write this article.
yes. And it's interesting because they say that we should create a series, but depart from the very serious nature of R.A. Salvatore's writing. I mean, I've read every single book by in that series,
Okay.
and there were very, very few moments of levity or humor. It was fairly dark reading a lot of the times. I mean, there certainly were moments that were kind of funny and whatnot, but it was a serious series,
What's
fantasy
wrong
series.
with that?
And but what this author is saying is basically what she's saying is that she loved Honor Among Thieves, and the way to fix Drizzt is through satire, and they need to make fun of themselves. So, in other words, they're gonna,
Ooh,
make an
I feel like
entire,
that's such a bad idea.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like that's a terrible idea. It's such a terrible idea. I almost want to see them do it because I know it's going to be a terrible idea. And I kind of
yeah.
want to watch that shit show.
Everyone would be like slapping their foreheads, being like,
Ooh.
"Who's this guy on the screen?" You know. But D&D gradually shifted its depiction of drow skin color from black to purple and gray, but never issued a clear, enduring declaration of what it actually is.
Well, why do you need a declaration of what it actually is? Matt, what are you? Are you a yellow skin tone or a peach skin tone or a green? Like, why do I need to be that specific? Maybe there's a lot of different variants amongst the same race of people.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, honestly, there is nothing, and this is probably why we'll never see a Drizzt series, and that is, or Drizzt, um, that is because there is absolutely nothing that WotC can say that would make the author of this article be like, okay, you're forgiven.
Yeah.
There is no groveling in the world that will be good enough. But I think it's funny here uh, that where she says it can fully embrace ebony skin drow and use majority black or PC cast, a la Black Panther, as a statement against whitewashing. Either way, it can make meta jokes with strong in universe logic that allude to the checkered past of the drow's appearance. There is no
That
checkered
doesn't,
past.
that also just sounds like a terrible idea. Am I the only one that thinks that this would be a terrible idea? I mean, this is
Well,
just, ooh.
yeah, I mean, what she's saying is we don't need a Doerden TV series. What we need is a TV show that grovels and makes apologies for Dungeons and Dragons.
Nobody wants that.
I mean, that's what she's saying.
The
So
minority groups that I've played with who are not white or who are any other race, they say they don't want that either. Maybe it's just my people because maybe I got confirmation bias, but nobody wants that. It's the same logic about the women and how they were rescuing women from D&D. I didn't ask for that. No one wants this. This is a terrible idea.
and if you think about like the Dungeons and Dragons movie didn't do as well as they had hoped, right? And I can't help but wonder if, because they did make it kind of jokey
They
throughout the,
did.
and lighthearted, and everyone's like, oh, that's what we like in D&D, but they wanted to draw in, and they hoped that the movie would draw in new people to the game.
No, what they
And
needed to do was make a D&D like Lord of the Rings, something serious, something edgy, something that's inspiring and enlightening and heartwarming and heartfelt. And it has these moments of humor, but there's just this sense of adventure that you can't wait to see what's happening next session.
yes,
That's what it needed, not this. Of course, it didn't do well. It was a bunch of potty humor jokes. Who cares?
well, it was a bunch of, there were a ton of inside jokes in the movie that if you were a fan of the game already, you got.
Yeah,
But if you're not a fan of the game,
no.
then you're gonna go in there and you're gonna be like, this is confusing to me.
Why
Like,
is there a giant cube that's eating all the things? I don't get it.
so I mean, and that's why I think when you create a fantasy movie, um, if you want to make it appealing to a larger audience, you've got to focus on the character development and the drama and the tension. Whereas,
No,
yeah. So
and
so
the
anyway,
best way to focus on character development is you give them flaws. So many different series and adaptations lately, they've taken away flaws because they don't want to offend people. Avatar: The Last Airbender, I love the crap out of that show, but they made it to where Sokka wasn't sexist because they didn't want to offend anyone. Well, that's okay, I guess, but that was his main character flaw, and he grew from it. That's character. That's character growth, and we want to see character growth. And that movie didn't have any character growth, like, at all. You weren't emotionally attached to anybody. Everything was just a giant joke. I mean, how many times are you going to see the exact same comedic stand-up in a row? I think they were expecting some kind of rewatchability when there just wasn't.
right. Agreed. So last thing it really says here, and I think there's a little bit more after, but I won't make you suffer anymore. Uh,
On
Whether
that.
the drow are purple or black, adaptation has to stand against racism loudly. D&D can't hide its skeletons in the closet anymore. If it wants to be an ally, it must own up to its mistakes and compensate. So, in other words, the whole show has to be about groveling. And then if there happens to be a storyline in there somewhere, great. But you better get on your knees and grovel because nothing else will do, right?
That's what this person is saying. That's what I'm hearing.
I am, we have talked about the Drow before, and if you truly look at the lore of D&D, you will find that there is more nuance to a lot of these races than you might think on a surface level. And true, I mean, the game developed, in 1977, there was a lot less lore than in 1987, in
Yeah.
1997. but
Yeah.
but the truth is that the game grew, and and the nuance is there. If you just take the time and look, these people have no clue what they're talking about.
Yeah. I don't think so. I find it a little offensive that she wants that this writer wants a specific description of what the drow are and there can't be any color variation because it's creating a point just to support their bullshit argument.
Yes, yes. Ah, well, tell us what you guys think. Check out our store. We got lots of new shirts and sweatshirts and bags and swags, the whole nine
Christmas is
yards.
coming,
Yes.
and you guys need to gift the nerds something good in their lives. So, what better way to make sure that your favorite nerd is taken care of with an amazing hoodie and also help support our channel?
Yes. Come on
Yes.
back.
As always, guys, comment, like, subscribe, and come back and have another round on us.